Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pamela, and on today's video I am going to be doing one that is so fun. I've done a reaction video in the past, and this one is the reaction to Jenna Marble's her house tour, her houseplant tour to be more specific. Jenna Marble's honestly was one of the first comedic females that I watched way back in the day, like back in the day. And I remember the video was it was just her trying to like be pretty or how to be ugly. I don't remember the exact name of the video, but Jenna Marbles, I've always been a fan of her, and I've always been a fan of Marbles, her dog, and I know she has a few others. And nevertheless, today's video is going to be me reacting to her house tour, her house plant tour. I am so excited. So if you're interested in seeing this plant tour with me, because it's my first time, then keep on watching. So welcome back everyone. I have my lappy top and it's plugged in, and let's get right into this video then.
Warning, this video is only for 32-year-old ladies and mainly non-binary.
I'm not a 32-year-old lady, yikes. Hopefully this video is not also for 32-year-olds, because I'm not even in the 30 club yet.
Friends that like boring domestic things. Sometimes it's not for me to understand why you guys want to see something. It's just my job to do it, I guess. It has been highly requested for me to do a plant tour because I don't know what happened. A switch went off in my brain and all of a sudden I just got really obsessed with plants. I love them. Disclaimer.
I've always loved plants because I've been growing plants for well over a decade now. So I feel her. I grew up with plants. I was born in the Caribbean, and in the Caribbean I had a whole bunch of plants, and coming to the States, my mom, I would say, is the reason why I have a love for plants. I think I have a very good green thumb, and I give it all to this lady because she is a godsend. So the switch for me kind of went off a few years ago, and I became even more plant obsessed. So every time I would go to Home Depot or Lowe's, I would always check out the plant section, and I always would pick up a random little plant. So the last 3 years, I would say, is really when I became addicted. Okay, so that switch went off, and I think that switch has gone off for a whole bunch of other people too.
Disclaimer, this isn't going to be a very entertaining video. I don't know why you guys have requested to see my plants. I like watching these videos on YouTube, but it's not something I thought my audience would enjoy, but it seems like you're interested. Also because I got accused of running a rainforest cafe at my house. Can a lady just not have some plants?
No, you can't have plants. I feel her. Every time someone comes, let's say in my room or in the areas in my house that have just a bunch of plants, they're like, oh my gosh, Pinterest goals. And I'm like, that's all I ever want anyone to tell me, is that my home and my plants are such inspirations to them.
I'm a complete beginner. I don't have a ton of knowledge, but I will tell you what I know or what I've been doing, and everything is a process. There's different light during different times of the year. If you have like a north.
Look at Marbles. No, that's not Marbles. Is that Marbles? I forget the names of her dogs. I think Marbles is the little short, dark one, but I could be wrong.
South-facing window, which most of our windows are, you sort of have to play around and move them if they need more light. So everything is a work in progress. Some plants are just like in places so I can see how they're gonna do, or if they could live there, and I might move them. I'm just gonna show you. So here we go. We'll start in here. So most of the plants I got from local nurseries, some from like Home Depot and or Lowe's, that kind of thing, and then some I ordered online, which is where the real problem comes in.
I too have gotten in the past my plants from Home Depot, Lowe's, and local nurseries. It wasn't until I found out that there is an entire section of plant buying online where I would say the addiction really, it just got really horrible. It got really bad. So discovering the online plant community, discovering that I can buy plants online and that they can be shipped to me, and I can find plants that I can't find at my local nurseries, or plants I can't find at those local garden centers. Yeah.
Because you can have plants delivered to you, and that's the problem, because you can get whatever you want. Let's start with this little guy. This is a Hoya compacta variegata. He's variegated. He's got these white little lines on him. He's absolutely stunning. I bought him as this little plug, so you know, in about 30 years he'll be a full plant.
Oh my gosh! In about 30 years that compacta will be a full plant, and that's the sad part. These plants, when you buy them as plugs or as little tiny nugs, they take forever to grow and become a mature plant, and I feel the pain. I feel her pain. That's why I just give me a full plant so I don't even have to worry about waiting for it to grow like 4 inches, and that's gonna take my entire existence for that to even happen.
So this I got at World Market. It's a little propagation station. Little cuttings of a couple of my plants in here, and they're growing roots. So this is a problem for people like me, because now you can turn one of your plants into like 5 of your plants.
Speaking of, can you tell the different plants that are in here? There's Adansonii, there's Micans, there's Pothos, there's Marble Queens, there's strings of bananas. The moment that, I've always known this, but knowing that you can propagate your plants and give yourself more plants, I think that's the worst thing that any plant parent can know, is that, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed and I go crazy for plants, and guess what? I can use my own lot to create more plants. I don't have to wait for seeds to grow. I can just snip, root it, put it back in soil, and that's it.
Wait, that's what that's doing?
Julian,
Are you multiplying?
more plants.
Are you multiplying plants?
In a couple of my videos, when you see a bunch of plants right here, this has sort of been a little bit of a nursery, if you will. So I keep putting plants here and then moving them out, because when I get a plant, I want to make sure that they get enough light, you know, right away to adjust. So not all these plants are going to stay here, but I like the light that they get here. So that's why you've seen a lot of different plants here, and it seems really overwhelming, but I promise you it's not. This plant I got.
Sorry, Jenna. Ugh. Look at this. This is one of the 3 whale fins in my home. And this hottie is like full-blown rooted. But it's just gonna stay in this water because, you know, I love leaving my plants in water. So this is gonna be a whale fin that lives in water alongside this Pothos.
Too long ago, but that's why he's still here, because I still want him to adjust. And I also potted him in a beautiful ceramic pot. And I'll show you a couple of the Hoyas that I potted before in terracotta pots. I guess there's a big thing whether or not you should plant Hoya plants in terracotta pots, because their roots might grab onto the porous clay and then you could rip them off by accident when you go to repot them. I don't know. So I planted this one in a ceramic one, but some of them are planted in terracotta pots. But don't come for me, okay? I'm learning. Hoyas are like one of my favorite plants, as you'll see as we move into the other room, because they have these thick, waxy leaves. They're just cool. They flower sometimes if you give them the right conditions, and their blooms are like spectacular. None of mine are in bloom. In case you wanted to see one, you're just gonna have to Google it. And
none of mine are in bloom, and I don't buy my Hoyas for the flowers. I buy my Hoyas for foliage, because you know what, to make my life easier, You know, I'm not gonna give myself that expectation. I don't give myself expectations. I don't put expectations on others, because if I do, I'm going to disappoint myself even more when what I want doesn't happen. So here's a tip for everyone to keep a peaceful life. Do not have expectations. Just do what you gotta do and just get it done, and don't expect anything, because once you start expecting, then that's the end of it.
They're really tolerant of dry air, which is what we have here in Southern California, so they're a good plant. Although some of them need more humidity. It's a different situation upstairs. This plant I got on Etsy, which is also, unfortunately, another dangerous place to find plants that you like. He is a whale-fin sansevieria, but he's basically just this one big leaf. He's amazing, look at him. His name is Whale, and when I ordered him on Etsy, they shipped him to me bare roots, which means his roots are just wrapped in like plastic, so I had to pot him immediately as soon as I got him. He's doing okay, but that's why he's here in my little nursery area. We have a nice sheer curtain. This is a south-facing window, so he gets lots of good light while he adjusts, and I find a good spot for him. This is a beautiful Chinese perfume plant that I got from Logi's, which is the most dangerous website for me that's ever.
Chinese perfume plant? I have never heard of that before.
Existed. I don't know if you live in other countries, maybe there's other places you can buy plants, but here in the US, Logi's is a very dangerous website for me because they have things I had never heard of. This plant, however, is very easy to take care of. He needs almost nothing, and he actually flowers these beautiful little yellow buds, and they smell amazing. They smell like perfume, and some of them are
This video is gonna be dangerous for me because I promise you I'm gonna get that plant, that Chinese perfume plant. I'm gonna go buy this plant literally after this video. It's on my wish list, and you bet your bottom dollar that
Tomorrow, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow.
that plant will be in my collection within the next 2 months.
dying off here, but he's got some new ones. He's growing, he's great. This is his nursery pot. And typically I won't pot a plant unless it absolutely needs to. They don't need this, but I like doing this an awful lot. Let's move over here to this beautiful ruby rubber plants. I think that rubber plants are one of the most underrated house plants that there are. They are so lovely and amazing. So there's several different varieties of rubber plants. I have this one and then a different one upstairs. But in their natural environment, they can grow very, very tall because they're a tree, and it's actually where rubber comes from. But in a house, you can pinch off their top leaves when they get pretty tall, and then they'll stop growing upwards. And you can have them just be this amazing tree in your house. Like, who doesn't want a tree in their house? I want a tree in my house.
I do
It has
too.
this amazing variegation and pink and red. They're chill, and I feel like people don't rave about their rubber plants. And what an amazing plant. Some of my plants have names, others of them don't. Stream named some of my plants, and I named some of them. Julian named some. This one is named Ninki Minjaj. She's named after a vine. This is Miss Keisha. Miss Keisha is a beautiful bird of paradise, which can live in Southern California. So my plan B is in many, many years, but this gets.
Yo, listen, you know what I want to do in this video actually? I want to see how many of the plants that she has that I have. Now let's compare the plant collection, because I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have that, you know, that Chinese perfume plant. I'm gonna add that, but the other ones your girl got already.
It's far too large. We can always put her in a pot and she can live outside. But I'm hoping she gets big and beautiful. I got the white version because the leaves actually grow bigger and flatter and more open, which is why I bought it. I didn't buy it because I particularly thought it was gonna flower inside. It needs a lot more sun, I think. But I bought it because the leaves are so thick and beautiful, and I want it to be this big Miss Keisha in the corner. You know what I'm saying? So she's actually 3 plants. She's doing very well. They like to be root bound in there, and I'm not going to try and repot her until she's busting out of this one. And I really don't want her to be fucking dead. Oh my fucking gosh, she fucking dead. This is.
Yo, I fuck with her so much. I fuck with her so much.
Gilly. Gilly is a Monstera deliciosa, and when I got this plant, I got this at Lowe's, and somebody did this plant so fucking dirty. So it was potted in a ceramic glazed pot, and the drainage hole was like teeny tiny, really bad. And so I brought it home, and I was like trying to let it dry out for like 2 weeks, and it was wet, which means it's gonna drown, it's gonna get root rot. So we had to do a little rescue mission and get him out of there. So that's why some of his leaves aren't doing so well. But since we repotted him in here, he's doing much better. I love this plant. And he put up with the abuse that someone had.
I just remember the dog's name. It's Norman. The gray one is Norman, and Marbles is the short little black one. Yo, I tell you, I fuck with Jenna Marbles, yo.
I put him through, so you know, he really here to stay. This is Bjork, one of the most amazing artists of our generation. But Bjork has some, I think this is called edema, which means the roots are taking in too much water than the leaves can handle, and then some of the cells in the leaf like sort of explode a little.
The veins, not the cells, the veins.
In my experience with these other leaves, this has gone away, but it has to do with like incongruent watering. And the first time that I read that, I was like, I'm a Virgo, and if you fucking think I'm incongruent, then I don't know who you think you're talking to. So I think that
I too am a Virgo, and I'm relating with her so much. Oh my gosh.
this is temporary, at least this has happened on some of the other leaves before, but this is Bjork. She's a fiddle leaf fig. She is just so incredible. The advice that I read online was that these can sometimes be really tricky plants to deal with light and water, and they're really just kind of diva-y. This is some diva behavior right here. Oh my God, you fed me too fast. This is too much water.
I am loving this video so much. Jenna Marbles is literally my spirit animal. And like sometimes when my plants complain, I'm like, oh, what are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? If I put you out in nature, you're not gonna complain. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die, but don't complain about home. Like, you gotta be tough with these plants because they get really prissy and they get very baby when they come inside your homes. You gotta like, get it together. Get it together. Get it the F together. Like, I'm not here to baby you. I don't got time for that. There's so many more of you guys that I gotta worry about. I can't put all my attention onto you. If you wanna die, stop it. Don't die though, because I paid for you.
Too fast. Oh, I don't like it. And if you buy them when they're pretty big, obviously they can be very expensive. So a lot of people online have said try spending a lot less money. Like I think I paid $19 for her at this size. And if you're doing okay, then you'll have a tree someday. But don't go out and spend a ton of money on a big tree because they're kind of fickle. But she's doing really well, and she's literally putting out 3 new leaves all at once. So maybe it's a you problem, not a me, because I don't know why you're doing all this red spots on your leaves, but maybe chill out with making leaves. Maybe make.
It's not me. I'm sorry, love. It's you.
One at a time. Welcome to the Hoya section. I'd say they're probably my favorite houseplant. So I, of course, need...
Before she even shows it, I'm so excited to see her Hoyas because Philodendrons and Hoyas have taken over my entire home, okay? Philodendron. Hoyas are over there though.
It's one of as many as I can find. There's hundreds and hundreds of varieties of Hoyas. They all could, in theory, bloom. I imagine, with my luck, none of them ever will. But I love them for their foliage. I think that they just are so beautiful and different. I love how thick their almost succulent-like leaves are. They're just amazing. So here's an example of one that I potted in a terracotta pot, so please don't come for me. I'm aware. I'm still considering whether or not I'd like to plant them in ceramic pots. This is a Hoya carnosa crimson princess. So that means the variegation comes from the inside, whereas opposed to this one, which is a Hoya carnosa queen, the variegation starts like this, like these white leaves. Look how amazing. And then they slowly goes to the outside. You're just so beautiful. And these like long sticks at the end here, that's where the flowers will come from. So you never want to cut those off, which this one, I'll show you. When I got this plant, first of all, it was mislabeled as a Hoya carrii, which is a plant that grows in the shape of a heart. And I don't know if you have eyes or anything, but like, this is not a Hoya carrii. And I went on Instagram and I figured out that this is called a Hoya crinkle 8 because it has these little 8 crinkles on the inside. And somebody did this plant hella dirty because all of these spots right here is where probably the long woody stick parts where the flowers would come from have all been cut off. Like someone just went in here and cut them all off. Somebody castrated you. I'm so sorry.
So I just want to correct her a little bit. That is just the vine, that's the stem. Peduncles, which is what allows the plant to flower, actually also comes out from the node. So for example, if all right, actually hold on, BRB, let me show you guys what I mean. So this is a Hoya carnosa compacta. Within the Hoya carnosa compacta, you have this entire stem, the strand where the leaves come from. Within this, if I open here up just a bit, if you see this situation, this little nub right here, that is called a peduncle. A peduncle is where the flowers come from, like I mentioned. The peduncle also comes from a node alongside the leaves. So you'll have one leaf right here, 2 leaves, and the third push out situation is the peduncle. So unless they cut the peduncle, then you're fine. If they cut the branch, what they do is just they cut it, they let this vine, they let this root, they cut it, they let it root, and then they place it in the soil, or they just place it in the soil automatically. So I don't think anyone cut the peduncles off. That's just what stores do. They cut your plant to propagate. They cut a longer vine in order for it to propagate. So just to correct her, that's not, somebody did not butcher the plant. That's just how people propagate your plants. You have to cut into a stem in order for it to stem off. Does that make sense?
Since then, he started repairing himself here with some new growth. You beautiful plant. I hope you're happy here. We interrupt this plant tour for a dog fight. This is a Hoya obovata. He's beautiful. He just put out this little tiny leaf. He's amazing. I love him. And speaking of circle leaves, this is the Hoya Mathilde, I think. Also got this from Load.
That's the worst part about plants, is pronouncing those names. Like, if you watch back my videos, you'll see I struggle, and this is struggle with SKRUGGLE, struggle, okay, with pronouncing the nomenclatures.
He's just the cutest little guy. You're so cute. How can you be that cute? This is a Hoya curtsii, just teeny tiny little leaves. He's so cute and droopy. He's still in his nursery pot. And then this is a Hoya Vichii. The stream named one of these plants Vine too, but I don't remember which one. Whatever. One of these plants' name is Vine too. Thank you, stream. This one has like a little thinner of leaves, and he's just so, I love you. You're so beautiful. I can see your veins. You're amazing. The stream named this, I think this is a Hoya bilobata, but I'm not sure. That's what it was labeled as. It could just be a Hoya carnosa. Stream named her La Hoya Jackson.
That looks like a carnosa. Bilobatos don't look like that.
Thank you for that. They get good light, but I'm always sort of moving them around depending if they need more or less light or whatever. So let's move over here, shall we? So I have 3 pothos on here. I have a...
Before we continue, I also want to let you guys know, try your best to not move plants around. If you chose a home for it and it's doing good in that home, let it just chill. If you see that your plant is like deteriorating, then of course move it, but don't move them around too much. literally every time you move your plant around, it has to get acclimated to that spot, to that area, and that messes your plant up even more. So just be mindful of what type of plant you have, what type of lighting it needs, and then place it in that location instead of like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, do a little bit of research on something that you're investing in.
Neon pothos, Scindapsus or satin pothos, and Pothos Enjoy, I think it's called. I got these at different places. I repotted them, so some of them didn't really enjoy it, so they had some brown that I had to snip off. But they're all doing very well now. They're pretty chill, pretty easy. This is a Philodendron micans, which is what I have propagating on the kitchen table. He is just like velvety and green and amazing, and I love him. Hoping to maybe plant some of those back in here so I can have a fuller micans, but he was a very, very tiny guy when I got him, and he's doing so well, and I just think he's so beautiful and velvety. Oh my god. This right here is an Alocasia Frydek, which absolutely took my breath away the first time that I saw it. This plant has no business being in my home. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at him. He is the only Alocasia that I have. I know typically they like higher humidity, but he's okay without it, I guess, so I've read. But he's not doing particularly well, I would say. I think this is normal. This is a dead leaf. I know they can go into their tubers or sort of go dormant, so he hasn't gone dormant, but he's also not putting out a leaf right now, but I think he's okay. I think he's chilling. He was upstairs for a little bit in higher humidity, and I think he was getting too much sun up there, so I moved him down here. But every day I wake up and I just talk Julian's ear off about what plants I'm moving when. I'm concerned for this one, and he gets really...
So one of two things. I don't own any Alocasias, mainly because of their fussy tendencies, their high requirements for humidity. I'm not that type of plant parent. I cannot provide that, even though I have humidifiers. It's just, I already got a heat mat on. Like, I'm not trying to have my electric bill like go like through the roof, having so many things on, like lights and heat mats and humidifiers and this, that, and the third. Let's keep it simple, everyone. Just keep it simple. I like simple plants. I like easygoing plants. The most I have to worry about is your watering. When you're asking for too much stuff, I can't do it. If my spray bottle isn't enough, you're not the plant for me. Nope. And secondly, I too nag my mom and my partner about what I'm gonna do with my plants, where I'm gonna place my plants, what did I do today. Every single day I do something to my plants in regards to my plants. So I feel
annoyed with me, so I love you, Julian. These are some varying succulents that I just got at the grocery store, except that one, that was a gift from some students to Julian. I don't know why any of these succulents are alive. I don't water them, I don't touch them. They don't really get a ton of sun up there, I don't think. Over here, we have my little buddy Rex. He's a snake plant. He's one of many snake plants that live here because they are so chill and need nothing. He's still in his nursery pot. His name is Rex. This is Vin Diesel. He is a ZZ plant. He is also in his nursery pot. This, I would say, if you are like brand new, like I was, and you don't know what to get or what would be happy in your house, get a ZZ plant. They need nothing from you, and they just give you so much love. Like
I have 3 ZZs in my home. I have 2 greens and 1 raven. ZZ plants are so easy. I agree.
It's just sitting on this random table pretty far away from the sunlight and just having a great time. Took me a minute to appreciate just what a special, lovely, wonderful plant he is, because it's sort of like a common low light house plant, but like he shows you so much love. I don't know what I did to deserve all of this growth and love from him, but he's just like shiny and glossy and lovely. You come over this.
Can I just say she is an amazing plant mom? You have to appreciate when your plants respond to your love and your care. And you have to thank them for being good plants, because at the end of the day, they could completely be little bitches and die and just go bad. But when you see one is like thriving and flourishing, just say thank you. Thank you, plant, for being good. Thank you, plant, for listening to me. And thank you, plant, for loving me as much as I love you. This baby started off as like a couple leafies, and look at it now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, plants, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
This way, you'll see all the dishes that haven't done. This is, he's a coral cactus, but this is like the one thing that saved my life. Every morning I wake up, have my coffee, and I walk around, and it's like a nice little meditative experience. I just go around and I check all their soil, and get down to where their roots are. I mean, he's a cactus, so he's chill, but for all the plants, when it says dry, basically like real dry, then I give them a drink. But other than that, I just leave them alone, unless it's like a peace lily or something that likes to be moist. But let's go outside. Stream.
So, I don't have a moisture meter. I think that's just way too much work. You see this? This is all I need. Just sticking that in the soil. It tells me whether my plant needs to be watered or not.
Named this one Coachella. This is Coachella. Coachella is a ponytail palm. He likes full sun. He needs to get watered almost never because he stores all his water in that big tree trunk of his. He's also known as like an elephant's foot. This is an apuntia or a prickly pear. Amazing! Can't even believe it. What are you? You're the best plant ever. He's just spectacular. I love him. Don't touch him though or else he'll prick you. He pricked me earlier. This right here is a string of pearls. I originally tried to keep this plant indoors, but then I found out that he liked it outside better. And he's just been putting out these little flowers and just like having a great time. So I left him out here because he's just happier and I want you to be happy. This is Julian's only plant. Julian saw this and loved this. This is a burro's tail or a donkey tail succulent. What did you name this one?
Burro.
You named it burro.
His name is Burro.
But yeah, these plants live out here. They're both in their nursery pots and I think they look nice and I have no intention of repotting them until they needed it. So like in terms of outdoor plants, I don't have a ton of like flowers or that kind of thing because I don't know a ton yet, but I'm excited for the spring to start learning about that kind of thing because it's something I used to do when I was little with my mom. I just don't know anything yet. I've only learned about indoor plants, as you can see. But
I'm the same with her. I don't have outdoor plants. I live in an apartment building. I don't have an outdoor space, but I'm speaking it into existence. When I get my house, because I'm gonna get a house very soon and I'm gonna claim it within the next 5 years, I'm going to be a homeowner. I'm gonna have outdoor space and I'm going to, this is gonna go outside. Ooh. This is gonna go outside in the summer because I'm planning on staying in New York. This is gonna go outside. This one, maybe, oh you can't see, my Diphyllokia, my dumb cane, that probably will go outside. A bunch of these plants will definitely end up going outside in the summertime. So I need to learn more about gardening outdoors, but I'm a big indoors gardening girl.
looking forward to that, aren't you, Julian?
Yeah.
Outside plants. Let's move into the dining room, which is where my too much gene is really showing off, right? This is a north-facing window and there's like a porch over it, so it's really dark in here. And before we put all this stuff in here, it just felt like really sterile and we don't do a lot of formal dining. I don't know about you, but I wanted to make this room like something a little more fun and like nice and chill, like a place where you'd want to be. I thought, what better way to do that than with a bunch of plants? If it feels like a jungle, then you probably want to hang out in it. Or is that just me? Where Julian's
I never want to leave my room. I never want to leave my house. I feel at peace. I feel calm around my plants. I feel her. I'd rather be here with my plants than be outside with humans, okay?
Standing right now, I have tried many plants. There is no light that can reach here. Nothing. Nothing. This is the location of the only plant that I have ever killed. It was a golden pothos. It just withered away and died. So what we did in this corner is I threw a chair in the corner, and then you have the plants around it so they can get just enough light to survive, but the corner is filled with something. It doesn't feel so sterile and cold in here. So we got another chair to sit in that corner as well. But I have made many adjustments and many oopsies in this room. The first of which was those big planters. There's a couple of them. They're actually outdoor planters. I had put all of these snake plants in because I was like, they'll be fine. They're snake plants. They are indestructible. You can do anything. They can live in the light. They can just be wherever. The only thing they can't have is a lot of water at their roots and they'll get root rot. pot. So they started to just be a little too moist. So I rescue missioned all of these snake plants out of them, and they're doing so much better now. And they're in terracotta pots, so it will wick the moisture away from their roots and they won't sit in those. But that's also why I was like, what's a plant that just likes to be wet as hell? A peace lily, bitch. A lot of these plants, if they're not doing well in a certain situation, we can move them in other places. So the peace lilies might not stay there. Anything might not stay anywhere. We'll just see how they do. But all of these plants have been here for a while now, and they're all doing really well, which is surprising because it's fucking dark as hell in here. So we have a couple of different varieties of snake plant. This one's a moonshine. He is so cool. Here's another ZZ plant because I just couldn't believe the love the first one gave me, so I got a second one. This one, and this one are all variations of the Chinese evergreen. This is a marble queen pothos. This is a, I think he's just a Sansevieria cylindrica, but they call this certain variety a mohawk. Don't tell anyone, but I think someone mispriced him at the store, so I actually got him so like dirt cheap. This is a small Sansevieria cylindrica. This is a small golden pothos. I also left him in his hanging container because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted him to be here or if I wanted to hang him somewhere in the future. This is like the low light special room. All these plants are like, I'm cool.
I'm literally I'm having so much fun just watching this.
Cool with low light. Snake plant, snake plant. This is a variegated snake plant. This is a Philodendron Brazil. They have this like really pretty lemon lime color going. This is a Sansevieria like honey. Amazing. He's green. I have a bunch of other ones upstairs of different kinds. This is a Peperomia Ginny, which I wasn't too keen on. Like I know there are people that love certain types of houseplants. Like I love Hoyas, as you can tell. There are people that are obsessed with Peperomias, and I'm just not super obsessed with them, but I saw this is labeled as a super low light plant, and I was like, no way, that's not right. He's been pushing out so much new growth. He's been sitting right here, only getting like a little sunlight and just chilling. So the outsides of his pink leaves are just so beautiful, and I can't believe that he's doing so well there. He's like a variegated peace lily. There's another one outside that's a different type, but he is also doing okay in a self-watering planter because he just...
That's a beautiful plant. The variegated peace lily is so pretty. I don't have any peace lilies, but that is really pretty.
Just likes to be wet and moist, and he's just chilling. And this is a pothos on like a trellis. We are moving to my pride and joy, my favorite, most amazing, beautiful love of my life. He doesn't have a name. We should really give him a name, because he is just the best thing in the world. He's a Kentia palm, and usually they're okay in medium to low.
I don't kill many plants. I think that was the first plant I ever killed. I'm gonna try to see if I find a video, but I got one from IKEA, and I guess I didn't know the care too much. I didn't know the care at all for this plant, and it died within, like, I honestly would say like within like 3 weeks of being in my home. It died, and I'm like, I wash my hands of palms, and they're beautiful. I really wish I had the space for palms, or just the location for palms, but palms in my home don't do well. I only had one, so that palm does not do well in my home.
Light. So this is a really big experiment. I got him from a nursery because he was a special order for someone else, and then they just canceled their order, and I was like, give me that palm beach. I struggle a little bit with understanding when he's dry because he's potted in like lava rock. He has some fronds back here that are browning, but they're old fronds, so I'm hoping it's just part of his natural process. But this is the plant that I freak out about constantly because I love him. But I know that a lot of people struggle with palms.
I struggle with palms. Like, I cannot keep, I wish, capital W, wish I can keep a palm in my home. I want a palm so badly. I got a palm. The palm said no, Pam, and I said that
because
Say no
they're
more.
very tropical. They like humidity. It's dry here, you know, so I'm just like hoping and praying that I can keep this plant alive because he is just so spectacular. They're only grown from seed. You can't propagate them. They only put out about like one frond a year. So I certainly cannot do this plant a disservice by mistreating him. I worry about him constantly. Over here, put 3 peace lilies in here, and they do get some east light. I don't know if this is gonna work. This is kind of a project, an experiment, but I can always sort of move them around to somewhere else. So over here is the peace lily that was in that corner. This is a Red Riding Hood aloe, I think is what it's called. He got scorched because we had him somewhere with too much sun, but I think he's on the road to recovery, but he's very cool. I like him. And then I have another larger aloe plant.
What I don't get about plants is, yo, when you're out in the wild, you don't get to pick and choose the type of sunlight you get. The sunlight is literally shining down on you, except the ones that are more epiphytic, except the ones that are more epiphytic, like the Hoyas. Those, of course, they prefer much shadier homes because they grow under larger trees. So those I understand, but listen, yo, you're an aloe. What are you complaining about, bro? You get direct sunlight all the time. Stop being a little bitch.
Which also we had somewhere else, and he just got a little too much sun. But look at that, he's recovered his ends so nicely. Do you wanna move upstairs? Welcome to our bedroom. Julian has been very patient with me because I decided and asked very nicely if we could make this a room for some of my plants that need high humidity. Thank you. We did get some humidifiers in here, and I framed that to Julian.
I have that exact humidifier. I love her so much. That is literally like, me, please, can you have some plants? Like, please, is it okay if we put this plant here?
And she was like, yeah, but it's gonna help us sleep better because it's so dry here. And then if you get better humidity, you sleep better. Please. So I keep this room with the door shut. If you guys aren't scratching at it, trying to come in and out at about 50% humidity, which isn't even super high or anything. I know people blast their humidity, but that's like the bare minimum for a lot of the plants that like it. And there's only like really a couple in here that actually need it. Some of the Hoyas, if I wanted them to grow more, you could bring them up here and they'll do better in the humidity. Like all plants tend to do a little better with more humidity. But first of which is this amazing Begonia maculata whitey eye. When I saw this plant,
Mine is not a,
this is one of those.
Mine is not a maculata, but this is a Begonia Medora. And as you can see, she's putting out so many new leafies, and I'm so excited for my begonia to put out more leaves. Yeah, I love begonias.
Plants, I was like, I will do anything you want. What do you want? I will do anything for you. Look at the backs of your leaves are red and the fronts of your leaves are green, and you just come out with these spots like, oh my God. And then
Begonias are the prettiest plants I have ever seen in my life. And I'm so happy I have one in my collection now because they're pretty.
to top it all off, in the spring and summer, this plant puts out flowers. Are you fucking kidding me? I have to have it. Oh my God. This plant needs at least 50% humidity, so that's why he's in here and just been growing like crazy. It's just been doing so well. I thought this was going to be a little trickier of a plant. Sometimes I get intimidated by plants that look really exciting, so I'm like, I can't have that. It's gonna die. You know, I'm gonna fuck it up somehow. But I haven't. I'm just astonished. I've had really. There are a little bit of the crispy ends of the leaves from when the door gets left open on occasion, but for the most part, just like really spectacular. This is my only other peperomia. Pilea peperomoides, I think is what it's called. They weren't like common household pests, like scale or mealybugs or anything. They were like, there was like a little couple of caterpillars living on this soil. So a couple of these leaves got munched, but I have since removed the caterpillars, but it was really funny. I was like, what is eating you? See any anything. He's so cool. Like, he's just so super cute. His name is Pod. I have a couple of these throughout the house just to know like what the humidity is. Like if there's a plant downstairs and it gets really dry, I might bring him up here. This is a Monstera Adansonii. He's the same type of plant as the Monstera downstairs, but he grows in this beautiful vine with these leaves, also known as like a Swiss cheese vine. This is one of the other plants that enjoys a little bit of humidity. Very tropical. Just like beautiful, amazing. I love him. This is Roberto. That is Roberto. So Roberto is a rubber tree, just like the one downstairs, but he is I forget what you call this, burgundy. He just has these like really very dark green leaves that sometimes look black. Honestly, what the hell is going on, Kermit? He's grown so much and I just can't get enough.
Whoops, wrong dog name. Kermit, not Norman. Where did Norman come from?
Of him. He is so stunning and beautiful and just the coolest. And I also sometimes like to take him into the shower with me so we can shower together. Poco Roberto is just a smaller version of Roberto because I love the rubber trees so much. I have 3 of them at this point. We got another couple of Hoyas up here. This is the Hoya lacunosa, or a cinnamon scented Hoya. So someday, if this plant ever bloomed or flowered, those blooms tend to smell like cinnamon. Although I've heard lots of Hoyas, they all have different colored blooms, different looking blooms, and some of them smell like ramen noodles or chocolate or anything in between. This is the unvariegated version of the Hoya compacta, just a regular one, just green. But as you can see, he grows pretty slow, so it would take many, many, many years for me to get one of those plants that have the big, long, like octopus tendrils, which I think are so cool. This right, my one and only oxalis. Oxalis are like a false shamrock plant. They're super cool. This kind grows like a fucking tiny little tree. Like, are you kidding me? Is that insane? He also had one little yellow flower, which has now since gone. This is the oxalis rubra, which is...
This is the second one in her collection that I want. I want the Chinese perfume plant, and I want this oxalis rubra.
I guess one of the harder oxalises to care for because they need a lot of sun. Right here, he tends to get a lot of sun. Julian actually took a time lapse of him because they like open their little leaves with the sun. They're so cool. Over here, I have varying types of snake plants because if there's a spot that I haven't had good luck with plants in the past, like I've tried to have some pothos up here and I don't think they get enough light. I'm like, all right, let's put a snake plant there because the snake plant will appreciate it. This is starfish, another couple of hani, Sansevieria japonesa, 6th grade. Let's go to the bathroom. So this over here, this is my only Dracaena. He is a Dracaena warneckii, and he's just really cute. He needs almost nothing from me. This is a curly spider plant, which I didn't know existed. I've only ever seen the straight variety. They're very straight. He's already putting out a little baby right there. He's got these curly little leaves. Oh. What the hell? This is our actual bathroom, which one time when Julian was out of town, I just started doing things like this to it. Thank you for letting me do it, Julian. This is another marble pothos, and just the regular green pothos. This one's name is Rallyweed. Thank you, Stream, for naming Rallyweed Rallyweed. And this is another satin pothos up here, and this is a lipstick plant, my only lipstick plant. As you can see, I have smashed his plastic hanger in because I wanted to see how he's gonna do. But so far, pretty amazing because right now, this might not seem like a lot of light, but in the morning, beautiful, amazing, lovely light. That must be enough for all of them to continue being happy because we just keep getting more and more growth out of them.
I like seeing you pooping.
Was it really that unbearable that I wasn't paying attention to you for as long as that was? I hope that you found this interesting. I know there's a lot of plant lovers out there. I know it's always cool to see other plants and what they enjoy having. If you want some good plant advice, there's tons of channels on YouTube. Like most of what I've learned is from YouTube, like Plantarina, Kaylee Ellen I love, Hilton Carter from Apartment Therapy I love watching, Betsy Begonia is really fun. It's just like such a fun, rewarding thing.
Hey Jenna, you should watch my channel. You should follow me on Instagram, Jenna, HauzPlant. Put some diversity, you know, in your plants. Guru-ness.
This will obviously always continue to change as the seasons change, as the light changes, and as I learn more about outdoor plants. Right, Julian? Maybe someday in the future, if things get even more out of hand, which I anticipate they will, I'll do an update. I hope that you like this. I know this is like not a type of video that I'd usually make, but I know so many of you asked for it and requested it, and I know that some of you guys are just genuinely curious about my life or hobbies, which is plants. They're my friends. Make sure you water my ceramics now, because ceramic needs much water multiple times per day. All right, let me check you. Can I check you? Oh, he's dry. He's very dry. He's very dry. It needs some water. Okay, we're gonna play a game called the Quiet Game. You're losing. How about you do a high five? Good boy. All right, I will see you guys next week. Bye.
So that was the end of the video. Oh my gosh, I thoroughly enjoyed every last second of this 28-minute video. Wow, I loved her house tour. What I enjoyed about most, aside from the beautiful plants, is one, I found some plants that I didn't know about that I'm gonna get, and that's really unhealthy, but that's fine, don't judge me. What I say to people who say I have too many plants and that plants are addictive, yes, they are addictive, but I could have a worse addiction, and that could be the D word, D-R-U-G-S, okay? I'm not addicted to that. I would rather put a couple dollars into something that I have to keep alive, that will bring me joy, versus something that will deteriorate my insides, okay? Or shoes that I'll get over. Plants, if I get over them, I can always sell them and make more money back, okay? Shoes depreciate. Plants do not depreciate, okay? Let me tell you all that. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I love Jenna Marbles. Her personality is awesome. Again, I've been a Jenna Marbles fan from back in the day. It's really great to be able to watch this video. I love watching house tours, plant tours, and I recently posted one. So if you're interested in watching that, I'm gonna tag it here, and it will also be in the description box below. I'll tag both of the house tours that I've done in my home. And yes, that is all. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and sharing. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little kooky family because we're pretty awesome here. Be part of the HauzPlant community, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a new video. And I will see you on the next one. Let's get growing. Bye.